Alive.
We're all so happy.
I actually read that you were supposed to die in the pilot episode.
Yeah.
What happened? Why did that change? I'm glad you're alive.
Yeah, it was interesting actually. I auditioned for Monty's role because I was the regular at the time, and Jasper was just a guest star. And I went in for Monty, didn't hear anything, of course. And they're very similar, both have the same vibe. But I didn't hear anything, and then I got a call like 3 weeks later saying, "We want you to play Jasper. Read the script and let us know." I read it, and I loved the world that was created, and I loved even more that Jasper was like the lighthearted guy that was cracking jokes in this very dark world. I was supposed to die, and I just wanted to play it so well that when he died, it's like it just sucks so much. It breaks your heart.
It was violent.
The more you love him, the more of an impact it has on you when he gets speared. So I just went in with that approach and gave it my all, and then they decided to not kill me because it sucked too much. So now Jasper's back on a swift recovery, ready to kick some ground or ass,
We actually saw, I think it was the last episode that your character was in. He seemed a little scared. Can you talk a little bit about how that's going to impact him?
Yeah, I mean, Jasper started off with such great wonder and adventure, and he's very courageous, kind of stupidly courageous. After the spearing, he sort of gets this post-traumatic stress disorder and fear bundled up inside him of what's outside, what's out there. Because in the wilderness, they could be in the trees. That spear came out of nowhere. That really affects him, but in this next episode where Octavia's missing, it doesn't really matter to him anymore, fear. It's more about finding the one he loves and getting her back because she means more to him than him being alive. That's why, he swung across the river in the first place in the first episode, was to impress her and, to feel, screw fear, It's okay to be afraid. So he kind of fights his fear and has to really just give life a go, even though life is, getting murdered brutally in the jungle in our world and on Earth.
Because he's been through such a traumatic experience, do you think he's going to lose some of that comedic edge he used to have?
You definitely see a darker side of Jasper as it goes on, but we'll also see, the Jasper who he once was, which is nice. He does have a little, he still has a lot of heart, and he's still a funny guy, but when things are just so traumatic, he has to step into the darkness and face it.
You spent the entire episode, I think 4, covered in sweat and shaking and moaning.
Yes. Oh, episode 2 or episode 3. Yeah. That was interesting. I don't know. Yeah.
Hard day on set.
It was. I mean, just straining yourself so that it seems like you've had a spear inside you was something I hadn't done before. A lot of moaning and screaming. But, we had to make it believable that you could survive something like that, which I think you can, with Clark as your doctor. But, that was a painful time. I'm happy to be back up on my feet and running into danger instead of just screaming on the floor.
You see, being that you were injured and survived, you kind of united at least half of the little camp there to keep you alive. You were like the little mascot for a hot second.
Yeah, I think Jasper being alive was, there was something more to it than just, making sure that he lived. It was sort of, for the whole group, kind of almost a metaphor, like if we can keep him alive, then maybe we can all get through this, right? Because there's some awful things going on at that point, with Adam also getting acid fogged. And,
that was awful.
I think it was really just more of a hope thing, that if Jasper lives, and there is actually hope for all of us, more than just that he's alive, just that, we can get through anything. So that's cool.
You're like, I'm a symbol. Awesome.
How will Jasper's and Bellamy's relationship evolve, knowing that you and Octavius have a little something going on?
It's interesting. I think Bellamy doesn't really find Jasper as a threat, just because he's such a nerd and scrawny. Like, you know, I think you feel for him. And Bellamy, he's in charge, and I think aside from Clark, and I think the decisions that Bellamy makes really impresses Jasper. Someone has to step up and make these hard decisions. So I think that kind of bonds them, and then also their love for Octavia. You know, everything that Bellamy does for Octavia, everything that Jasper does for Octavia, it's kind of similar. You know, they're both driven to protect her. I think that is kind of an interesting bond to see as well, because they have that similarity.
Agreed. You're doing awesome, by the way.
Yeah, awesome job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good con.
Yeah, for sure.